Did you know that there's a whole other internet out there? It's hidden from search engines like Google. This hidden world is called the dark web. It's a dangerous place. Criminals go there to buy and sell illegal things. One website ruled the dark web for years. It was called AlphaBay. AlphaBay was like an online shopping mall for criminals. They sold drugs, weapons, and stolen information. It was a dangerous game for buyers and sellers. The dark web is a risky place. It attracts dangerous people. It's important to understand the risks before you even think about going there. AlphaBay started small in 2014, but it quickly became the biggest marketplace on the dark web. People flocked to it because it seemed anonymous and secure. They used special software to hide their identities. AlphaBay used something called Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a digital currency. It's hard to trace. This made it the perfect currency for criminals. They could buy and sell illegal goods without getting caught. The site's founder, Alexander Kazes, was a young Canadian. He got rich from AlphaBay's success. Kazes lived a double life. He was a millionaire living in Thailand, but he was also a wanted criminal. The dark web might seem exciting, but it's important to remember the dangers. Criminals and scammers lurk everywhere. They prey on the vulnerable. One wrong click can infect your computer. You could lose your personal information, or worse, you could become a victim of identity theft. Many people have lost everything to dark web scams. Law enforcement is always watching. They are trying to catch criminals operating on the dark web. If you get caught buying or selling illegal goods, you will face serious consequences. AlphaBay was a one-stop shop for criminals. They sold everything illegal you could imagine. From drugs to weapons, and even stolen identities, it was a haven for those who thrived in the shadows. The marketplace operated with a level of sophistication that rivaled legitimate e-commerce sites, making it easy for anyone to dive into the world of illicit trade. Drugs were their biggest seller. You could find heroin, cocaine, and even fentanyl. These substances were sold in various quantities, catering to both small-time users and large-scale distributors. The anonymity provided by the dark web made it nearly impossible for law enforcement to track these transactions, allowing the drug trade to flourish unchecked. But it didn't stop there. They also sold weapons, fake IDs, and stolen credit card information. The range of weapons available was staggering, from handguns to assault rifles, all ready to be shipped discreetly. Fake IDs and stolen credit card information were also hot commodities, providing criminals with the tools they needed to commit further crimes. Hackers sold their services to the highest bidder. It was a dangerous world operating in the shadows. These cybercriminals offered everything from data breaches to ransomware attacks, targeting individuals, corporations, and even governments. The skills and services they provided were invaluable to those looking to exploit vulnerabilities in the digital world. AlphaBay had a community, believe it or not. Buyers and sellers left reviews. These reviews were crucial for maintaining trust in an otherwise untrustworthy environment. They provided feedback on the quality of products and the reliability of sellers, helping users navigate the treacherous waters of the dark web. They rated the quality of products and services. There were even forums where users discussed their criminal activities. These discussions ranged from tips on avoiding law enforcement to sharing experiences with different vendors. It was a chilling reminder of how organized and interconnected the criminal underworld had become. It was a chilling example of the dark side of the internet. The anonymity and reach of the dark web allowed these illegal activities to thrive, creating a parallel world where the rules of society did not apply. AlphaBay was just one of many marketplaces, but it served as a stark reminder of the dangers lurking in the digital shadows. For years, AlphaBay seemed untouchable. It was a haven for illegal activities, a marketplace where anonymity reigned supreme. Drugs, weapons, and stolen data were just a few clicks away. The dark web was its playground, and it thrived in the shadows. Law enforcement agencies around the world were watching. They knew AlphaBay was a significant player in the dark web underworld, but tracking its operations was like chasing a ghost. The anonymity of the internet made it a formidable adversary. The FBI, DEA, and Europol joined forces. This was no ordinary task force. It was a coalition of the best minds in cybercrime investigation. They pooled their resources, shared intelligence, and devised a plan to bring down AlphaBay. They wanted to shut down AlphaBay for good. Months of meticulous planning and coordination went into the operation. Every detail was scrutinized, every possible outcome considered. The stakes were high, and failure was not an option. In July 2017, their hard work paid off. They launched Operation Bayonet. It was a massive, coordinated effort involving multiple countries and agencies. The goal was clear: dismantle AlphaBay and bring its operators to justice. It was a coordinated takedown of AlphaBay. Law enforcement executed simultaneous raids, seizing servers and arresting key figures. The operation was swift and precise, leaving no room for escape. They seized servers and shut down the website. The digital fortress that once seemed impenetrable was now in the hands of the authorities. The dark web marketplace was no more, and its users were left in disarray. It was a major blow to the dark web. The ripple effects were felt across the entire underground network. Other illicit marketplaces scrambled to cover their tracks, fearing they might be next. The founder, Alexander Kazes, was arrested in Thailand. He had lived a life of luxury, funded by the profits of his illegal empire. But now, his days of freedom were over. He was facing serious charges in the United States. The evidence against him was overwhelming, and a lengthy prison sentence seemed inevitable. The authorities had finally caught up with him, but before he could face justice, tragedy struck. The world watched in shock as news broke of his sudden death. Kazes was found dead in his jail cell. The official report stated it was a suicide, but the circumstances were suspicious. How could someone under constant surveillance take their own life? It appeared to be a suicide. However, many speculated about foul play. Was it a cover-up? Did he know too much? Theories abounded, but concrete answers were elusive. His death left many questions unanswered. The investigation into AlphaBay's operations continued, but the mystery of Alexander Kazes' demise added a dark twist to the tale. The walls had closed in, but the shadows remained. The shutdown of AlphaBay was a major victory for law enforcement agencies around the world. It marked the end of one of the largest and most notorious dark web marketplaces, where illegal goods and services were traded with impunity. But the fight against cybercrime continues as new threats emerge every day. Cybercriminals are constantly adapting, finding new ways to exploit vulnerabilities and evade capture. The dark web is always evolving, becoming more sophisticated and harder to track. It's a shadowy underworld where anonymity reigns and illicit activities thrive. New marketplaces pop up to replace the ones that get shut down, each one more elusive than the last. It's a never-ending game of cat and mouse between law enforcement and cybercriminals. AlphaBay serves as a reminder of the scale and complexity of the challenges we face. It was a hub for illegal activities, from drug trafficking to identity theft, and its takedown was a significant achievement. The internet can be a dangerous place, filled with hidden threats and unseen dangers. It's a realm where the lines between right and wrong can become blurred. We must be careful about what we do online, always aware of the risks and taking steps to protect ourselves. Vigilance is key in navigating the digital landscape. We need to protect ourselves from the dangers lurking in the shadows, using tools like VPNs and robust cybersecurity measures to safeguard our information. The story of AlphaBay is a cautionary tale, highlighting the importance of vigilance and the ongoing battle against cybercrime. It shows that even the most secure systems can be compromised. It's a reminder that even in the darkest corners of the internet, justice can prevail. Law enforcement agencies are dedicated to tracking down and prosecuting those who exploit the digital world for nefarious purposes. But the fight is far from over. Cybercriminals are relentless, and the battle against them requires constant vigilance and innovation. We must remain vigilant in the face of cybercrime, always ready to adapt and respond to new threats. The digital world is ever changing, and our efforts to protect it must evolve as well.